You guys can, this will be okay? Yeah, okay, thank you. So let's take our blanket, and I have my blanket from that rectangular fold. I just folded it one more time, so we can all sit up on the blanket. It's just a lot easier on our lower backs and on our hips. We have tighter hips or lower back. And cross your right shin in front of your left shin. I think I want to make sure that you weren't, I was a little rushed with folding my blanket, and I want it to be nice and comfortable. So if you're already in a seated position, should be better. Close your eyes. And just start breathing. Think about when the last time it was that you took a conscious breath. And invite that breath into your body. And so for today's practice, like I mentioned, we are going to be moving a little bit more than we have been moving in the past few classes. And sometimes when a class has a little bit more movement to it, it can feel fast. And that is not my goal today. My goal is that this class does not feel fast, but you feel like you've passed through many different poses and many different sequences. So in order, the trick, the secret is for it to not feel fast, is to establish your breath rhythm right now and start to tune into a slower breath rhythm. So, eyes still closed, or close them again. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. And see if you can start to breathe in for a count of 4. So begin your inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1 count. And breathe out for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold your breath out for 1 count. Again, breathe in for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And pause. Breathing out for 1, 2, 3, 4, and pause. Next time is 5. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pause. And breathing out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pause. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pause, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pause. Now it's 6, breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pause, breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pause. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pause. And breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pause. Good, and then just open up your eyes, and grab your strap. Take your strap and hold your strap out pretty wide, so you're making like a really big V. Your arms are nice and straight. Okay, so we left off at a 6 count inhale. Can you inhale for a count of 4, 5, or 6 as you lift up, lifting your ribcage up, 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 away from your pelvis. And on that same length exhale, start to revolve towards the left. Inhale back to the center, same slow tempo. Exhale, twist towards the right, lifting, lifting, lifting as you notice the slowness of your breath. Inhale back to the center. Same thing, slow exhale, turning towards the left. Slow inhale back to the center. You might still want to count it. And slow exhale back towards the right. Good. Inhale back to the center. And as you exhale, just place the strap down in front of you. Take your arms back up to the sky on an inhale. And on an exhale, place your left fingertips down on the mat. And as you exhale, side bend it over as you plant your right sitting bone down into the floor. And so think about just how long of a line from your right sitting bone through your right fingertips. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Paula. Nice to see you guys. Good. And then inhale back up to the top. And start to turn your right palm to face the wall behind you. So you're actually feeling your triceps spinning forward. You're feeling your arm bone spin inside of your shoulder socket. Go ahead and give yourself a hand. Place your hand on your back and assist that arm in internally rotating a little bit more. Good, and then you can give it a hand to press down a little bit as well. Good, and then take your left arm out to the left and slowly take your left hand behind your back. Now you notice we don't have the strap. We're just exploring this position. So before we think about the strap, I want you to think about what happened to your skull. Did you drop your face forward? Press the back of your skull back against your right arm. Feel your right elbow pointing straight up towards the ceiling. And see if you can breathe more space into your left collarbone. Good, and then release all of that. Now pick up your strap. Same exact thing. Take your right arm up to the sky. Spin your right tricep to face forward. Give your arm a little assistance as you drop that hand back between your shoulder blades. And notice, did your head drop forward? Oh my God, mine did. Take your left arm out to the left, wrap your arm around, find the strap. And now as you think about, don't put your hands as close together on the strap as you possibly can. In fact, try to pull the strap up a little bit longer as you lean the back of your skull backwards into your right arm. And so your chin is level. It's like as if you could balance a book on top of your skull. Lift up through your back ribs a little bit more. Good. And then slowly unravel. Take your arms all the way out to the sides. Inhale your arms up to the sky. And as you exhale, turn towards the right. Take your left hand across. Take your right hand behind you, coming into this twist. Same slow breath. Inhale, 4, 5, or 6 counts, getting longer. Exhale, contracting your belly muscles to create a little bit more of a twist. Can you do that over 4, 5, or 6 seconds? One more round of breath like that. Good, and then look forward again. Take your right arm, lift it up and over, place it on the outside of your left knee. So your arms are crossed, right arm on top of the left arm. Drop your chin down to your chest, stretch between your shoulder blades. Think about hollowing out your chest. Good, and then float your arms up and either just give yourself a hug, which is fine, and then if you do, you can walk your fingers a little closer to your center of your back. Good morning, pups. Or you can wrap your arms around, if you feel ready, into Gardasana arms. So if you have Gardasana arms, try to peel your palms away from your face and see if you can pull your heart to the interior of your shoulder blades. Good, and then whichever arm variation you have, reopen your arms back up. Inhale, arms to the sky. And exhale, finally, we can fold forward and send some breath into the back of our body. We've been focusing a lot on the shoulders, and we are going to focus a lot on the shoulders today. But let's take some time to breathe some space into our lower back, our bottom ribs, thinking about bringing that long, slow breath all the way down into the lowest lobes of the lungs. Good, and then walk your hands extend your legs out in front of you. Just give them a little bit of a shake. And then cross your opposite shin in front. So I think I said right before. So now cross your left shin on top of your right shin. I'm actually doing the same as you guys, but it'll look like the opposite. Good. And then inhale, both arms up to the sky. And imagine you're lifting your ribcage up out of your pelvis. Then bring your right hand down, walk your right fingertips over and side bend over towards the right, pressing down through your left sitting bone. And thinking about that long diagonal line, like you're reaching for the corner of the room. At the same time, your shoulder blade is turning down to shade the front of your body. Good, now inhale all the way back up. Start to turn your left palm to face the wall behind you. Place your hand on your back. Go ahead and take your right hand and give yourself a little assistance. So draw the tricep in towards the biceps, spin the biceps towards the back. And then take your hand to the back of your elbow and assist your arm in moving down your back. And now we're talking about where our head goes, right? So already notice how you probably dropped your head out of the way. Take your right arm out to the right. Take your hand behind you. Just place the back of your hand between your shoulder blades. Don't worry about clutching your fingers. Press the back of your skull backwards and elevate, good job you guys, that left elbow straight up towards the ceiling as you breathe more and more space into that right collarbone. Beautiful. Slow breaths. Good, now unravel all that. This time, grab your strap. Take your strap in your left hand. Same thing, give yourself a little assistance with your right hand. Take your time. And notice, as you're moving into this, do you drop your head forward? Do you splay your ribs out? Try to maintain that posture as well as that slow breath rhythm. Press the back of your skull back into your left arm. Imagine your right collarbone just keeps moving further and further towards the wall, towards your right. Good, and then unravel your arms. Move your strap aside. Inhale both arms up towards the sky. Lift your ribcage up off of your pelvis. Slow exhale as you turn in the opposite direction towards the left. Take your right hand across to the outside of your left knee. Left fingertips behind you. 4, 5, or 6 count inhale to get longer. 4, 5, or 6 count exhale to see how you can progressively contract your abdominals progressively so that you find more and more of a twist. Good, and then take your left arm up and over. Place it on the outside of your opposite knee. Drop your chin to your chest and stretch between your shoulder blades. So you can think about pushing your knees away from you, like your knees were trying to pull your hands forward. Good, and then float your arms up and either give yourself a hug or find Garjasana arms again. So the elbows will go up, the palms will move forward. And you breathe into the back of your heart. 4, 5, or 6 count inhale and 4, 5, or 6 count exhale. Good. Stretch your arms out to the sides. Flip your palms over. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Rooting your sitting bones down into your blanket. And feeling from that deep root, think about that square we've been talking about at the base of your pelvis. From that root, it's as if your stem, your plant, is growing off on that diagonal angle. So we're not going down into the ground, we're growing, we're striving, we're lengthening. Good, and then walk your fingertips back in. Take your legs out in front of you, give them a little shake again. Good, and then let's move the blanket aside, move the strap aside. You can have your blocks towards the front of your mat. I'm not going to use them just yet. then take a moment to establish your foundation as you come onto hands and knees. So this is just an opportunity for you to communicate with the proprioceptors in your palms before we move into downward facing dog. Press the tops of your feet down into the mat so that you feel the texture of the yoga mat underneath the tops of your feet, and as much of the top of the foot is in contact with the mat as possible. And then just start to move to that super slow breath through cat and cow. 4, 5, or 6 counts, maybe more, depending on how spacious your breath is feeling today. Let's do one more. Good, and then come to a neutral spine. Now tuck your toes under, step your hands about 3 inches forward. Angle your index fingers towards the corners of your mat so your hands are turned out just slightly. And already start to think about your triceps. When we were assisting them moving into Gomukhasana arms, think about how we were moving those triceps in, spinning the biceps up. Already start to do that. Lift your knees up away from the floor. So your knees are hovering about a ½ inch away from the yoga mat. And then keeping your knees very bent, start to lengthen your hips back away from your shoulders, keeping the knees very bent. Try to press your yoga mat forwards a little bit more. Good, now start to lift the sitting bones up higher. Keep the knees bent as you stretch the sitting bones up. Good, and then start to press the front of the thigh bones into the back of the thigh bones and magnetize your heels down. So the legs never have to straighten. You don't want to compromise the position of your back. You don't want to start to round your spine just to get your legs straight. Look back at your heels and make sure they are in fact invisible. Try to lift up all 10 of your toes and create a little space between your toes. Good, and then as you inhale, shift forward to the top of a push-up and just take a moment to press your superpowers down into the earth. Remember on Friday we were sending our love back to the earth. So we're staying connected to our foundation in a loving and compassionate way. Drop your knees down to the yoga mat. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower halfway down. Shoulders no lower than the elbows. Good. Inhale, press back up to plank on your knees. Exhale, lower down halfway again on your knees. It's a nice slow breath. Inhale, how long can you take to press yourself back up onto your knees? One more time, 4, 5, or 6 count exhale to lower down, only halfway. 4, 5, or 6 count inhale to press yourself back up. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back as you exhale, 4, 5, or 6 count breath. Good, inhale your right leg up towards the sky. As you exhale, slowly shift forward, curl your knee into your chest, shoot your superpowers down into the earth. Step your foot between your hands, drop your back knee down. Let your pelvis move forward and down, and then imagine zipping up from your pubic bone to your navel as you stretch your arms straight up towards the sky. It's as if you had a tail. If you were to pull on that tail, your pelvis would start to, your tailbone would start to lengthen. Your pelvis would start to level out. Good. Draw your palms to touch one another. Lift your heart up towards your hands. Great. And as you exhale, bring your hands down, tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up off of the mat, and step your right foot back into a plank pose. Shooting your superpowers down into the earth. You always have the option to drop your knees to the floor. Inhale, shift your chest forward. Exhale, lower halfway down, 4 counts. Then release your belly all the way down to the mat. Inhale, 4, 5, or 6 counts to lift your chest, to coil your upper spine up into a baby cobra. And 4, 5, or 6 counts to slowly roll yourself back down. Tuck your toes under, lift your kneecaps up off of the mat. Lengthen your tailbone, take an inhale. 4 count exhale to press yourself yourself back up to plank. Take an inhale when you get there. As you exhale, 4 counts to move your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Inhale, 4, 5, or 6 counts to lift your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, 4, 5, or 6 counts to draw your knee forward. Shoot your superpowers down into the earth. Keep your facial muscles relaxed. Step your foot between your hands. Drop your back knee down. Uncurl your toes. Let your pelvis drop forward and down. And then picture that zipper from your pubic bone as you intentionally place your rib cage on top of your pelvis. Lift up through the top of your skull. Think about if you had that tail and you were pulling your tail through your legs, so you increase the sensation of the stretch in your right hip flexor. And then draw your palms to touch up above you. Inhale, 4 counts, 5 or 6. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Lift your back knee up off of the mat. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Remember, you can always place your knees down. Exhale, 4 counts to reach a 90-degree angle. Shoulders no lower than the elbows. Inhale, either lower your belly all the way down and take baby cobra, or take upward facing dog, lengthening back through your toes, dropping your hips down towards the floor. 4 counts to lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Let's go through a vinyasa with long counts. Inhale, shift forward, 4, 5, or 6 counts. Exhale, chaturanga, 4, 5, or 6 counts. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Notice your heart rate. Notice your breath. And then slowly start to walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Just observe your journey. At some point you can lift up onto your fingertips. Set your feet up so that your feet are inner hips distance apart. As you inhale, 4 counts, draw your belly and lengthen your chest forward. As you exhale, fold forward. Root down to rise up. Inhale, circle your arms, reach all the way up. Beautiful, you guys. Exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Same slow movement. Okay, let's practice that. Inhale, 4 counts, circle your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge and fold forward, 4 counts to get there. This one's hard. Can you stretch your breath out for 4 counts as you inhale your chest forward? And as you exhale, step your left foot to the back of your yoga mat, drop your back knee down. Inhale, circle your arms, reach up 4 counts. Exhale, hands down. Can you take that exhale breath to transition all the way through chaturanga, 4, 5, or 6 counts. Inhaling for baby cobra or upward facing dog. Beautiful, nice and slow. And as you exhale, take your hips up and back, 4, 5, or 6 counts into downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up to the sky. As you exhale, step your foot between your hands, drop your back knee down. Inhale, 4 counts, circle your arms, reach up to the sky, palms join at the top. Exhale, hands down, tuck your back toes under, step your right foot forward to meet your left. Inhale, 4, 5, or 6 counts to lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Root to rise, 4, 5, or 6 counts to lift all the way up. 4, 5, or 6 counts to return back, hands to the heart. 4, 5, or 6 counts, inhale, circle the arms, reach up. Same thing, exhale, hinge forward. You're in your own experience here. Inhale, lift the chest. exhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Drop your back knee down, uncurl your toes. Inhale, circle the arms, palms join at the top, back ribs lift up. Exhale, hands come down, tuck the back toes under, slide the left foot back to meet the right. Follow your breath through chaturanga, can always skip it. Wherever you can maintain the steadiness of your breath. 4, 5, or 6 counts to inhale your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, 4, 5, or 6 counts to draw your knee through and step your foot between your hands. 4, 5, or 6 counts to inhale your arms up, your chest to heart to lift. Exhale, hands come down, tuck your back toes under, step your left foot forward to meet your right. Good. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, circle your arms, 4, 5, or 6 counts to rise all the way up. And exhale, hands come together in front of your heart. Bend, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, or you can maintain hips distance. Bend your knees, circle your arms, Utkatasana chair pose. So as you sit down into chair pose, shift your shins backwards, lift up all 10 of your toes, and place them back down again with a little space between each toe. Zip up from pubic bone to navel, stretch the thumb side of your hand so you feel a little bit of a stretch in your back ribs, and soften your inner upper shoulders. Good, take one more inhale here, and as you exhale, stand all the way up, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Good. Inhale, 4, 5, or 6 counts. Bend your knees, circle your arms, Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, fold forward, straighten the legs. Long inhale breath to stretch your chest forward. Same length exhale to make your way back through chaturanga. You guys know you always have the option to go straight to downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg straight back behind you, 4 counts. As you exhale, step your foot between your hands, seal the outer edge of your left foot down with your left toes facing the left front corner of your yoga mat. So we're gonna move into warrior 1. You may wanna hop, heel toe your right foot out to the right a little bit so you're more on a railroad track instead of a tightrope. And then already start to root down into your back left foot. Take your arms straight up to the sky. Good. Now reach your left arm forward and imagine someone was pulling your left arm. They're pulling the entire left side of your body forward. So maintain that squareness as you lift your arms back up to the ceiling. Hook your right thumb on top of your left thumb. And then straighten your front leg. So as you straighten your front leg, I want you guys to focus on standing more on that back leg. Spin your left inner thigh towards the back wall. Keep your fingertips energetically reaching up towards the ceiling. Soften your inner upper shoulders and re-bend your right knee. Keep standing strong in your back left leg. So that's your root. Good, and then release your thumbs. Turn your palms to face one another. Allow your palms to join together at the top as you look up. Think of your heart magnetizing towards your palms. And maybe even start to move your palms towards the back a little bit. On your next exhale breath, long exhale breath to come all the way down. Moving through your vinyasa with whatever breath count you have established for yourself. Inhale your left leg straight back behind you. Slow count as you exhale. Bring your knee forward, step your foot between your hands. Seal the outer edge of your right foot down and set yourself up so you can have heel to heel alignment or you can make your stance a little bit wider. Yeah. And then rise up, place your rib cage right on top of your pelvis. Take your arms to the sky, then stretch your right arm forward. And imagine someone was pulling your right hand forward. So you're squaring off your chest. Even the right side of your body is trying to square, the right hip is even trying to square. And then float your right arm up to meet your left. Hook your left thumb on top of your right thumb. It's like you're trying to rip your arms apart from one another. Soften through the base of your neck. And then press your left leg to straight and really stand on that back right leg. Imagine someone wanted you to lift your left foot off of the floor. It's kind of impossible, but imagine that. And then keep standing strong in your back right leg. Start to bend your left knee back into warrior one. Soften the base of your neck. Release your thumbs. Allow your palms to touch one another as you gaze up. Inhale, 4, 5, or 6 counts. Exhale, hands come down. Step it back. Find your path. Find your journey to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in downward facing dog, recalibrate, notice how you're feeling. Good, and then bend your knees, look forward. Step, walk, or jump to the top of your mat. Long inhale breath to stretch the chest forward. Long exhale breath to fold back in. Bend your knees, circle your arms. Utkatasana, chair pose, lift up through all 10 toes. Good, now shift the weight onto your right leg. Lift your left knee in towards your chest. Cross your left leg over your right leg and maybe wrap your left ankle around the back of your calf. Good, then wrap the left arm underneath the right arm. You can give yourself a hug again or coming into Garudasana. As you sit a little lower into Garudasana, try to lift the elbows and pull the forearms away from your face. Slow breaths. Good. As you inhale, unravel, lift your left knee up towards your chest, straighten your right leg, lift the arms up. And as you exhale, bend your knees lower back down into chair pose. Shift the weight onto your left foot. Curl your right knee in towards your chest. Cross your right thigh bone over your left. Maybe wrap your ankle around behind. And wrap the right arm underneath the left arm. Or give yourself a hug with the left arm on top. Float the elbows up. Palms away from the face. Stay with your slow count breath. Good, and then unravel, let your bird fly away. Straighten your left leg as you curl your right knee in towards your chest, inhale. And as you exhale, return to Tadasana. Bend your knees, circle your arms, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, 4 counts, fold forward, straighten the legs. Inhale, find that length and keep finding it, it's a long 4 counts. Exhale, vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog. You choose. When we breathe slower, we breathe deeper. We bring that breath deeper into our tissues. Inhale your right leg up towards the sky. As you exhale, shift forward, curl your knee in towards your chest. Step your foot between your hands and seal the outer edge of your left foot down. As you inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. Feel that current of energy lifting up the midline of your body. Your ribs are even on all 4 sides. Reach your arms around behind your back. Interlace right thumb on top of the left, or you can use your strap. As you inhale, send your chest up towards the sky. As you exhale, fold forward, humble warrior. Right shoulder folds to the inside of the right thigh. Long inhale breath to rise all the way back up. Allow your palms to touch as you look up. Good, and as you exhale, bring your hands down. Grab a hold of your blocks. Your blocks are going to go a few inches forward of your right foot. Spin onto the ball of your left foot and float your right foot up into warrior 3 with your hands on the block. So the blocks are on a tall setting. Okay, take your right hand to your hip crease, and draw your outer right hip back. And then at the same time, drop the left side of your pelvis down towards the floor a little bit more, but think about lifting that left inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Good. Slowly start to bend your right knee. Land back in warrior one, 4, 5, or 6 counts to fully express your warrior. And 4, 5, or 6 counts to make your way back, either through a vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog. 4, 5, or 6 counts. Don't do it if you can't maintain the counts. Inhale your left leg straight back behind you. Exhale, shift forward. Step your foot between your hands. Seal the outer edge of your right foot down. Set up your stance so you're either heel to heel or wider. And as you inhale, rise up to that warrior one position. Reach your arms around behind your back or use a strap. Left thumb on top of the right. Inhale, lift the chest up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward, humble warrior. Long inhale breath to rise all the way back up. Palms touch, chest lifts towards your palms. Exhale, hands come down, grab your blocks. Take your blocks a few inches forward of your left foot. Pivot to the ball of your back foot. And think buoyancy as you lift that right leg up. Your heel floats to the height of your right sitting bone. Left thumb to the left hip crease. Notice that hip, it loves to swing in and forward and create us standing a little bit more on the inner part of our foot. So when we draw that outer hip back, we feel that we can balance the weight through all 4 corners of the foot. Right front hip drops down towards the floor. Right inner thigh lifts up towards the ceiling. Think of pulling the blocks backwards so that your chest and the top of your skull keep reaching forward into the front of the room. Good. Slowly start to bend your left knee. You're thinking warrior one. And then you have this opportunity, long, slow count, to fully express your warrior. And as you exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog, however you choose to get there. We don't want our practice to feel rushed. We want our practice to feel as if our breath is setting the metronome, is setting the tempo for which we practice. Just like a metronome would set the tempo for how you would practice a piece of music, our breath sets the tempo for how we practice tuning the instrument of our body. So bend your knees, look forward, step, walk, or jump to the top of your mat. As you inhale, long breath to lengthen your chest forward. As you exhale, fold it in. Bend your knees, circle your arms. Inhale, 4, 5, or 6 counts into Utkatasana. Good, and then shift the weight onto your right foot. Curl your left knee in towards your chest. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And start to straighten both legs at the same time, shifting into warrior 3. So you can actually not straighten your right leg all the way. You can keep it slightly bent, but do straighten your left leg. And if you want to place your hands back down on the blocks, they're there. Good. Now come back into chair pose with your left foot hovering off of the floor. Take the arms straight up in line with the cheekbones. Good. And then stand all the way up. Wrap your hands around the underside of your left hamstring. Let your left leg get heavy in your hands. And then just start to kick that heel out in front of you. Spin your left inner thigh down towards the floor. Spin your right inner thigh towards the wall behind you. And if you feel pretty good here, take your arms straight up to the sky, 4, 5, or 6 counts. Good, and slowly lower back down to Tadasana. Bend your knees, circle your arms, Utkatasana chair pose. Shift the weight over onto your left foot, curl your right knee in towards your chest, and bring your hands together in front of your heart. And think of your transition as you press into your left heel, you press your right heel back behind you. You reach your chest forward, you zip up your belly. You can always place your hands back down on the blocks. You can think about when you had your thumb in your left hip crease, how you were drawing that back. Good. Think about going back into single chair. Bend your left knee, bring your right knee in towards your chest, stretch your arms in line with your cheekbones. And then stand all the way up, wrap your arms around underneath your right hamstring. And then straighten your right heel into the front of the room. Good, and if you're feeling pretty good here, circle the arms all the way up. Good, release. Tadasana, take a moment. Bend your knees, circle your arms, Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. We're still on that slow tempo, you guys. Long inhale to stretch your chest forward. Exhale, make your way back through your vinyasa or not. Good. Inhale your right leg straight back behind you. As you exhale, shift forward, curl your knee in towards your chest. Step your foot between your hands. Seal the outer edge of your left foot down. Warrior one again. So adjust your feet a little wider if you need to. Inhale, take the arms up to the sky. Good. Now take your arms out to the side and wrap your left arm underneath your right arm. Either give yourself a hug or take it to Garudasana arms. As you inhale, float your elbows up. Feel your shoulder blades carving into the front of your body. And as you exhale, slowly start to fold it back down. Good. Inhale, lift it up. Spin to the ball of your back foot and see if you can step into full-on Garudasana. Cross your left thigh bone over your right thigh bone and sit down into eagle pose. So you get that shift of perspective. Think about when you had your left thumb and your left hip crease. You're trying to draw that left hip crease back. Good. And then unravel. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. Stand all the way up. Circle your arms up to the sky. And as you exhale, release Tadasana. Pick up your strap. Throw your strap over your left shoulder. Okay, so we were just knee up. Inhale, knee up, arms to the sky. Exhale, bend into your right knee. Start to lunge it back into warrior one again. Warrior one. Take your strap up off of your left shoulder in your left hand. Left arm up to the sky. Use your right arm to assist that tricep in rolling forward. To assist that elbow in moving down a little bit. Circle your right arm around. Catch the strap. This time you can bring your hands a little closer together since we've done it 3 times now. Press the back of your skull backwards into your left arm. Root down through your legs and through your pelvis. Good. Now, spin to the ball of your back foot again. Start to lengthen your chest forward. And you see how it goes. Float it up into warrior 3 with your arms in Gomukhasana arms. Think about that thumb in your right hip crease. Think about dropping the left side of your pelvis down as the left inner thigh spins up towards the sky. Make sure you can still feel the contact of the back of your skull pressing into your left forearm. Good. Slowly start to bend your right knee. Reach your left leg way back behind you. Release the strap. Place it down to the side. Inhale, circle your arms. Reach all the way up to the sky. As you exhale, hands come down. Drop your back knee down to the floor. Circle your right arm around, bend your left knee and catch a hold of your ankle. Think about that right collarbone getting more and more open. Good. If you have your ankle, release it, circle your arm back around, and step back either through a vinyasa or straight back into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale your left leg straight back behind you. Exhale, slowly shift forward, step your foot between your hands, seal the outer edge of your back foot down. Good. Inhale, rise up. Virabhadrasana 1 again. Feel as if all 4 sides of your torso were drawing into the midline. Take your arms out to the side and wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. Either give yourself a hug or take it to Garudasana arms. Good. Inhale, float the elbows up. Feel your shoulder blades carving into your heart. Exhale, start to curl like a cat. Elbows down towards the knees. Good, now start to lift back up again and let that lift as you pivot onto the ball of your back foot help you transition into Garudasana, crossing your right thigh bone over your left thigh bone. Good job, very smooth. Sit down a little bit lower. Think about if you had your right thumb in your right hip crease, you'd be drawing it back. Good, unravel, circle your arms, knee in towards your chest, arms to the sky. Good, exhale, release it down. Pick up your strap, place the strap over your right shoulder this time. Inhale, right leg lifts up, arms circle to the sky. Exhale, lunge it back, warrior 1. Take the strap in your left hand. Use your right hand, sorry. Use your left hand to circle your tricep forward. Use your left hand to draw the elbow down, and then make that contact with the back of your skull into your forearm. Take your left arm around behind you. As you get your hands a little closer together on the strap, not at the sacrifice of, splaying your front ribs. So lift up through the midline of your body, including your skull here. Good. Now start to shift forward. Pivot to the ball of your back foot. And as you find that transition point where you find your balance, float your right heel to the height of your sitting bone. Point your right elbow towards the front of the room. Beautiful, you guys. Keep reaching the back of your skull backwards into your arm. You guys are amazing. Good. And then slowly start to bend that left knee. Hover back into warrior 1. Release your strap. Move it aside. Inhale, fully express your warrior. Exhale, hands come down. Pivot to the ball of your back foot. Drop your back knee down. Bend your right knee. Circle your left arm around. Catch a hold of your ankle. Opening up through that left collarbone. Same slow breath. You guys have been through a lot today. Good. Release your ankle, circle your arm back around. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Last vinyasa. Inhale, lengthen it forward. Exhale, halfway down, shoulders no lower than the elbows. Inhale, really explore whichever back bend you choose. Exhale, hips up and back to downward facing dog. Good, shift forward to the top of a push-up. And then just bend your knees and come down and take your block and place your block the wide way across the front of your mat. And then place your thumb and your first finger, like the letter L, on the corners of the block. Drop your elbows down to the floor so that you have parallel lines. And then step your feet back and coming into a plank pose with the block stabilizing the positioning of your arms. Good, now slowly start to walk your toes in towards your elbows. So we've done a lot of shoulder opening today. So we're going into dolphin pose. Press down through the entire surface area of the forearms at the same time. Slide your shoulder blades towards your sitting bones. All four sides of the neck lengthen. Good, and then walk your toes backwards again. Come back into a plank pose. And drop your belly down. Sphinx pose. With your arms like railroad tracks, lengthen through the toes. Good, and as you exhale, you can actually straighten your arms if that feels good. Lift your elbows away from the floor. I just discovered that as I was transitioning, sliding my block out. So whatever feels good. Good, and then reach your arms around behind your back. You can grab your strap again if you'd like to. Otherwise, interlace right thumb on top of the left. Elbows stay bent as you draw your inner elbows in towards one another. Notice how that draws the heads of the shoulders away from the floor and a little bit wider from one another. Press your sacrum all the way down into the floor. Press your pinky toenails all the way down into the floor. And then start to imagine as you straighten your arms, it's helping to lift the chest away from the floor. And as you straighten your arms, your shoulder blades are projecting into the front of your body. Then float your legs up behind you. And imagine that the collarbones and the top of the sternum was the stern of the ship. And you were just displaying the stern of the ship with so much pride. Same slow breaths, 4, 5, or 6 counts. On your next exhale, release it down. Stack your right hand on top of your left hand and turn your right cheek down to the floor. Imagine you could listen to the earth. Imagine she was telling you a secret. Good, and then come back. So you're neutral again. Reach your arms around behind your back. Same thing if you need the strap. Otherwise, clamp your hands together, left thumb on top of the right. Draw the inner elbows towards one another. Press your sacrum all the way down into the mat. Move slowly as you inhale. Allow the pose to evolve. Allow it to blossom. Remember when you've seen like sped up videos of a flower blossoming? You're that flower blossoming into this posture. Eventually you float your feet up. 4, 5, or 6 count breath, relaxed in the face. And on your next exhale, slowly lower down. Place your left hand on top of your right. Turn your left ear down to the earth as if she was telling you a secret. Good. And then place your hands next to the sides of your body and shift your hips backwards into a child's pose. And just let the sides of your back stretch out. Think about those long erector muscles that run, really they run all the way from the Achilles. If we connected all the muscles together that had the same lines of direction, it would run all the way from the Achilles all the way up the length of our back. So just stretching out that entire line. Good, and then shift yourself forward and roll over onto your back. As you roll over onto your back, cross your right ankle over your left knee or cross your right thigh over your left thigh. If you cross your ankle over your knee, you're taking thread the needle. If you crossed your thigh, catch the outsides of your feet and pull your feet towards your shoulders. So your left foot is pulling towards your right shoulder, your right foot is pulling towards your left shoulder. And then if you're taking this posture, generally you're going to feel the right side of the waist is more scrunched up. So can you lengthen that out? You can always take thread the needle, just close your eyes and still focus on the length of your breath. Every breath is like a further journey into your awareness of this shape in your body. And yes, you've been here many times before, but your practice is not to compare how it feels compared to last time, or how I'm really tight at making judgments. I'm really tight today. It's to just be present to whatever is, and accept it, and work with it, and breathe with it. Good, so whichever variation you choose, switch sides. And play with both of them if you want. Notice the places you tend to go to sleep where maybe your mind drifts off, or maybe you forget you have feet and your feet are just asleep and there's no awareness there, or maybe you forget about your breath. So it's not to judge ourselves. Oh, I can't focus on all these things. It's just to keep ourselves working on our focus. It's a practice. Great, so whichever variation you chose, unravel that. Place your feet down on the floor. Take your yoga block again. And slide your yoga block underneath your sacrum on really any setting that you like. I like medium personally. It feels pretty stable. Curl one knee in towards your chest and then the other. And take your legs straight up towards the sky. And then think about if you were trying to make space. There's like a little parade of kittens that wants to go underneath your back. So lift up, make a little bridge for those kittens to parade underneath your lower back. So you're not sagging down towards the floor. There's a sense of strength. There's a sense of lift. As we just let all of that energy from all of those warriors come back into our first and second chakra. Good. And then bend your knees in towards your chest. Drop one foot down and then the other. I definitely recommend that you guys do that for longer when you're feeling stressed or anxious. And whatever height you have the block on, just take it down one level at a time. So if you had it on high, take it to medium. If you had it on medium, take it to low. If you had it on low, or if now you're on low, slide it all the way out and lower yourself down. Vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Good. Extend your left leg out on the yoga mat. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. Extend the right arm out to the right and take your twist. Bye, Sally. Have a great day. Make your way back to the center. Give your right knee one last little squeeze. Hug your left knee into your chest. Extend your right leg out. Left arm out to the left. Hello, Susie. Thank you. We always get a downward facing dog from Susie. That's it. That's our whole performance. She's going back to bed now. Let your breath expand. You're preparing yourself for Shavasana. This is the most important part of your day so far. Bring it back to the center. And now it's time for the most important part of your day, Shavasana. So find Shavasana. Knees bent or straight, feet together or feet out, knees together, you choose. Turn the palms up or place the hands somewhere on your body so that you make that inner connection. And so this is the most important part of your day because this is the chance you have to set the tone for your day. To set a certain baseline of calm, of peace of mind, of focused awareness. Of having a mind that, that our goal of yoga is to calm the fluctuations of the mind. And in Shavasana, we have an opportunity, we're not focusing on any other movements or breath. We can observe the mind and start to blur the edges of the mind. And when we observe a thought, we can imagine that you're placing that thought on a leaf floating down a river and watch that thought or that leaf float away. The good news is the thoughts always return. They always come back. You're not going to lose them. Most of them are repetitive anyway. So fully relax and let go into this moment. Fully relax and let go into yourself. Allow yourself to relax. Physically and mentally. And then on your next inhale breath, start to stretch, start to move, start to imagine the breath as a current, maybe even as a fluid liquid channel like a river moving through you, nourishing all the parts of your body, irrigating all of that nutrition throughout. When you're ready, hug your knees into your chest. And as you're ready, find your way to a seated position. You still have that blanket from earlier, so if you'd like to sit up on the blanket, make everything a little bit more aligned for sitting up and completing our practice. Bring your hands to your inner knees and press down on your inner knees, not so much in an effort to push your knees down, but more so in an effort to lift your spine up, to get more space between each and every vertebra. Lean the back of your skull backwards so you feel the back of the neck get longer. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. In this gesture of bringing our hands together in front of the heart, the other day we were talking about sending love back to the earth, and we can still do that in this moment. But let's also use this gesture and this moment to send our love to every living thing on this planet, including the planet. So the dogs, the cats, the trees, the flowers. And as you feel that opening to your heart channel, just allow some gratitude to flow through for being able to access these feelings of love, being able to access this level of presence. Slowly allow your eyes to open. Namaste. That was fun, you guys. Thank you for getting moving with me this Monday morning. I hope that you didn't feel like things were moving fast. I hope it still felt like you were able to be slow and intentional and focused, even though we did a lot more poses than we've been getting in lately. So have a wonderful start to your week. I look forward to seeing you guys